I want to go and teach you guys some stuff about I think the local scape, okay? So kind of the background, most of you guys know it, I probably said it 100 times, so whatever. Was in the automobile industry, 2008, got let go. At that time, had never done anything online, had never touched anything as far as just sending an email, right? And ultimately, the arch nemesis of me at the car dealership was this guy by the name of Travis Mace. I hate him actually still. Record that. I'll send it to him. I just don't like the guy. And but he's really talented. And Travis Mace, my wife, by the way, my wife Tori, the attorney that you always hear us talk about. I know I say I hate attorneys, but I love her. So she can back up that I don't like this fellow. Anyway, but looking back on it, why I got into local marketing really stems from that guy. And I don't even know if Tori probably even knows this. Maybe she does. But he went and bought a franchise or a dealership to, he got out of the car business right about the same time. It was 2008. And he went and bought this dealership to this company. It was, what's the name of it? It's out of Washington. I don't even know if they're around any longer. Starbucks, yes. No, he bought it was this company that went to local businesses, and they would help these local businesses gather customer data. Very simply, they put like a fishbowl, just a fishbowl, and you'd have a little slip to fill out. Dan, like, hey, sign up to win free lunch, or you guys have probably seen them at restaurants, like your little drop box. Usually the restaurants, you drop a card in there, right? And so he comes back and we're chatting or whatever, and he's like, yeah, I'm doing this thing, and it's $1,500 a year for each business, and I signed up 10 this month, and I was like, wait, that's 15 grand. And I was like, dude, screw that guy, I can do this, but I'm not gonna buy a franchise, I'm gonna do it myself. And that's how, when I got let go from the car business, that's kind of what got me into local marketing. Was I saw that, because he's still a moron when it comes to the computer. I call myself a moron, I'm not a moron when it comes to the computer now, but this guy was selling this service to businesses, and he was doing quite well at it. And I was like, wow, if this guy can do it, I surely could do something online.
You should send him a copy of this video when you're done.
Yeah, no. Well, he doesn't do it. I blasted him out of the market, so okay, cool. I dominated. So let's just be clear who won that one. Not that you guys had any guess on that. So I started talking to local businesses, and I started just in fact, one was a tanning salon. I remember going in this tanning salon and actually speaking to the owner, who's now a good friend of mine. And I said, what do you guys do? I mean, I come from the car business where we have an whole entire advertising company that does all our stuff. We spend $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a month. But it's going to newspaper, it's going to TV, it's going to all these things. So we're not really in control of it. We're just basically making the decisions on, spend $5 on TV, $5 on newspaper, whatever. And I was like, what do you guys do for the internet? Like, what? And he's like, dude, I don't know what to do on the internet. I'm freaking own a tanning salon. Oh, okay. Like, do you guys do anything? Do you have any presence, anything? Well, I don't know, man. We have a website. I haven't paid for the hosting in 2 years or whatever it was. So we had to get that unlocked. But I started just realizing, like, holy smokes, these local business owners, their entire business does hinge on their web presence. We all know that now, right? And they're completely in the dark about it. Now, at this time, search and all that stuff, the stuff that we train in JK, that wasn't in my mind. I didn't even have any clue about that stuff. I just saw this arch nemesis selling this email marketing business, this data collection business, right? So with my brother, Mike, who did actually have a little bit more background on the web, he had done, can build WordPress site, nothing crazy, but definitely way more than me. We started a business called Coupon Crusaders. Some of you guys have maybe seen it. This was 2008. I think we formed the business in 2008. And the premise to the business was to go and copy what my arch nemesis was doing and just take him out and make money, obviously. And so I wanted to innovate a little bit. I didn't want a fishbowl. I thought it was kind of ghetto looking. And then I was looking at Gold's Gym, and I kind of started studying what Gold's Gym was doing. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gold's Gym, pretty big gym. But they built their entire business off their boxes. I don't know if you guys have ever seen those boxes. They put them everywhere. It's like sign up for a free gym pass, three days or 7 days, or whatever. And you drop them in. Maybe it's at a restaurant, maybe it's whatever. I started looking. I was like, that's a cool looking kind of box. It's like printed, and I was like, but I want something even better than that. And so what we ended up doing was we developed a box, and I'll show it to you when I get to my slides, which I didn't really do too many of. I just developed this like acrylic box, and then I slapped a photo frame on it, one of those digital photo frames, right? And on that photo frame, I put an offer. So if it was, for the gym, it was sign up for a 3-day free pass. So if I was gonna go work with my buddy at the tanning salon, it was sign up for free tanning for a year, whatever. Lead gen, right? Give me your name, your email, your phone number. That's what we're looking for, okay? And as these customers would come in, they would drop their information into it. Our company would come by, pick up all that data, which was handwritten, hand it off to a data inputter who we paid minimum wage, but it was great for them, a high school girl. She would data input all the data into an Excel spreadsheet. We'd upload it into email marketing platform, and then we'd charge them $3,000 a year. I doubled the price because he was charging $1,500 a year all up front. I found it far easier to sell it at $3,000 a year on monthly payments, okay? So subscription model, okay? So this is kind of, the reason I'm telling you guys this is I want to try to teach you some of these things. I want to teach you some of this model because I really believe in local marketing, there is these 5 areas that you guys have to know. And if you do not know these 5 areas, you will look like a moron when you're trying to speak to local business owners, like our camera crew. They're local business owners. If you're not an expert in this field, you will feel uncomfortable to talk to people. You will feel unsure of yourself. You will feel all those feelings that many of you guys probably have right now because you have this one pillar. We've taught you one pillar. It's a very important pillar, by the way. And it can build an entire business off this pillar. That pillar is obviously search, right? We've taught you guys search and all that fun stuff. Again, no, it's good, I'll get it. Very lucrative, search is incredibly lucrative. You can take any of these pillars and build them into incredible income streams, and which is what I want to teach you guys today. I want to teach you these other 4 pillars. We'll obviously talk about search in some of the stuff to come up because I think that's very important, and you guys all know it now. We kind of are on a little bit of a same playing field now. When we first got you, maybe only some of you guys, we were on that same field, okay? So I'm gonna kind of kick through these 5 pillars. I'm gonna explain them, I'm gonna teach you about them, and my goal for teaching you about this stuff is that when you leave this room today, you can sit with a business owner, with any business, in any market, doesn't matter, and you can identify these 5 things each and every time, and you can help them by showing them where they're missing the boat. Again, results in advance type stuff, right? We talk about it nonstop. But if you don't know these other 4, you can't really come off maybe as the expert you need to come off to make them feel like, dude, this guy, this gal, they know their shit. That's what I want. I want you to have that confidence because it's right there. None of this stuff is hard. It's simply just kind of stretching your mind a little bit and understanding why and how these things are working and how you guys can actually benefit and profit from them, from the businesses that you're either already working with. These are upsells you can go back to them with and charge them more money, tack on services. These are downsells. Maybe they don't work with you on another thing. Maybe you're sending them leads and they've always been a low-paying client and you need to downsell them into something else, okay? These are also entire areas, in my opinion, that you can, if you vibe with one of these, maybe better than the other, you can go and start building part of your local model around these areas. You know, simple stuff, all doable, but again, my goal for this right now, this part of the meeting, and I don't know how long, my wife asked me how long I'm gonna talk, I'm not really sure. I'm just gonna make sure that you become smarter after this, okay? So, let's jump into this real quick. The first pillar, and I'll get into the pre-zone in a second. I want to talk about is data, just exactly what I was just talking about, data collection. So let me show you something. I'm on old Google, and my wife, she just said to me, she goes, this is funny that everyone loves chatting. It's like the first, like when you meet a girl on the internet or a guy on the internet on Match.com, and then you get to see him for the first time. That's how everyone here is, right? Like you see them all on Facebook over the time. So she said, it's like Match.com. So I was like, I'm gonna type in Match.com. I want to show you guys something. See that thing in the purple? See this? Can you guys see it? Sure. You see that stuff, guys? It's gone now. Okay. Do you guys know what that is? Anyone?
Some kind of tool you have.
What?
I would think some kind of tool you have installed.
It's a chat box.
Yeah. So what that is, not a chat box, no. Right up here, there's this, you guys can install this, write it down. It's called Ghostery. Ghostery. Go on Google Chrome Store and download Ghostery and install it. It's right there. Ghostery. Ghoste. I'll write it down. I can't spell, by the way, so I might spell this wrong. Ghostery. Good? It's on the Google Chrome Web Store. It's free. Carissa will sell it to you. Oh, thank you. Let's pull up another site real quick. I'll freak you out here. I think is it the Blaze or the Blaze? I think it's Blaze. I might be putting in the wrong site, so hopefully. Oh yeah, I did. Check this out. You ever heard of those sites like theblaze.com, just shock jock type news and stuff like that? Watch that thing go. See it? Watch, I'll tell you in just a second. Okay, what's happening right now? That's where your data is being sold. Okay? Big data, okay? Big data. So, why do we care about this? How do we make money from this? That's all that matters, right? That's all that matters to me. But I got with this guy who told me about this, and my mind was blown. And he was like, listen, I work for the biggest of the bigs doing this, selling your data, okay? He's like, dude, you don't know how dirty this game is with the big guys, okay? It's crazy. He's like, you go on any site, and we could keep doing this. We could keep going through, and it's just, they're selling the shit out of your data. Why? Because they want to know everything that you're doing online. Why? Because then they can advertise you smarter, better, stronger, what have you, okay? So, again, let's get back to how we make money from this. If the big guys are doing it, we need to be doing it. We're not going to be able to do it on their level because we're not going to control sites like this. It's never going to be on a level like this. But we need to be taking tabs on why are these companies, why are these big websites that we think they're just putting out all this great news information, right? Well, that's funny, but you're selling the shit out of my data to everyone. That's really how you're monetizing. You know, God bless them. That's cool. But it's amazing when you really start breaking that down on how these companies are really making their money, how they're really profiting from this. There's another company. You guys have probably heard about it. Like, do DNA testing, and you swab your mouth, I believe, and you send in the swab. 23andMe, right? Yeah. 23andMe was making more money selling the data to pharmaceutical companies than they were on the little swab. They used to charge $1,500, or it might not be 23andMe. I don't know which one it was. They're charging $1,500 for the swab. They moved it down to $99 because pharmaceuticals were paying them $1,000 for the data. Crazy, but that's what's really going on. So, local businesses, data is very important as well. But local business owners, no offense, Mario, I'm one too. This is not their world. They're busy shooting. They're busy running their businesses right now. So they don't care about this stuff. They're not thinking about it. They're working on their craft, their one thing, as Brad talks about. And so it's our job as local marketers, in my opinion, to be the experts for them. And I feel like if you guys start to understand these other areas where you have to be the experts for these local business owners who really don't know what's going on in this space, your business is going to flourish. Your business is going to only increase. Now, search in like what I've done with the growth of all the different things that I've done with local. I've been 100% full-time local marketer since the day I got out of the business, the car business. But in that, I had data collection. I did reviews and stuff for businesses. I've done social media management. I've done all these different things, but it's all focused around local. So how do we take the understanding of data? How do we do stuff like this and start helping business owners understand what they're really losing out on? Let me hop over to my slides. Whoops. I probably should have put this up sooner, but here's the 5, just so you guys have them. These are the 5 pillars. Know them, learn them, understand them, be an expert on all of them. Because not just one of them matter. I mean, you know all of these, you're going to be better in serving of these local business owners. I don't care what business owner it is, including myself, including Brad in our business, we fail on different areas of this all the time. And I can guarantee you, most businesses, most local businesses, fail on at least 4 out of 5 every time. So what does that equal for us? Opportunity. Big opportunity. But you have to be able to educate, understand, and be able to articulate to these business owners how these 5 areas that they're screwing up on, how you can help them, these different things that you might be able to do. And like I said, some of you may not want to do some of these things that I'm telling you, but you still need to understand that they exist so you can at least consult these business owners to put them into practice themselves. Okay? And I believe it's going to make you, in their eyes, it's going to make you look like so much of an expert when you can speak to them about this stuff. Again, it'd be like Mario, me asking him, like, I mean, I tried to act like I knew what I was talking about. I was like, yeah, what kind of lens are you using? I was like, I don't know what the hell he's talking. But it'd be like me trying to ask him, about his business, and he could break it all down. So we have to be experts in this local space. If we're going to play ball in this local space, know the whole thing. Don't just know search. And don't just get caught up on search. Know everything about it, right? So let's move. I stole Brad's slides because they were prettier and I liked his font. I did it like at 5 this morning. So I had it all done, but it was like ugly, kind of my style, whatever. So we just showed you big data, right? We showed you Ghostery, right? So when we started seeing the importance of data getting drilled down to the local level was in about 2008. You guys have heard of Groupon, yeah? Yeah.
Where'd they go?
What?
Where's Groupon today?
They're still ticking. Their stock's like shit, but they're not great. I'll tell you why in a second. But we can't, Groupon Living Social, they went like this. Groupon, to give you guys some context, this is really good for you guys to know for just your memory banks. Groupon, in a matter of, I think it was a year and a half, went from 0 to a $6 billion offer from Google in a year and a half. What were they doing? What was Groupon doing? Does anyone know their model? But do you know the model? Do you know how they got, does anyone know how they got paid?
Oh yeah, they take a percentage of the sale or
They take
a
half
flat fee.
of what you drop it down to a certain price.
Right.
The business drops it down on sales.
Right.
Let's say it's an HVAC, and it's $80 for a service. You sell it for $60. Groupon takes $30.
Yeah.
And you get paid $30.
Yeah, exactly. So let me recap. So Groupon's model was very simple. I'll tell you where it stemmed from. There's a restaurant in Chicago, and this guy couldn't sell dessert. The got, the pretty dessert tray. Because what happens? You go into a restaurant, you stuff your face, and then they roll out the dessert tray and they're like, do you want dessert? And you're like, oh man, I can't eat anymore, right? So when people walked into this business in Chicago, is anyone from Chicago here? Yeah. Do you know this story? Okay, cool. I was just wondering. They walk in, when the person was the hungriest, they would say, hey, these are our world-renowned desserts. And they say, for $1, you can buy dessert insurance. And smart. For $1, you can buy dessert insurance. And they're super hungry right now, right? What that means is, if you get to dessert time and you don't want dessert, you just lose your $1. But if you buy dessert insurance, you get the dessert for 50% off. Okay? So, what they saw happen was their dessert sales skyrocketed, obviously. And all the people that didn't buy dessert, they just got taken for $1, which is awesome. My opinion is awesome. I've been trying to figure out how to do some sort of insurance with our company, but I can't figure it out yet. But that's how Groupon was formed. That's that idea of, oh my gosh, people will act at this crazy, if the offer is great enough, if the irresistible offer is high enough, people will make a rash decision. People will kind of indulge in this. So they're like, all right, and I'm probably butchering the story a little bit and maybe embellishing some, I'm not really sure, but the story's pretty good so far. So Groupon, basically what they started doing, formed in Chicago, they said, man, if we can get local businesses to offer their goods and their services at a huge, deeply discounted rate, we can sell the living shit out of other people's stuff, right? So what did Groupon start doing? Groupon started collecting data in like amazing fashion. I mean, they were spending at the time $10 per email address. Just to get an email address, $10. Living Social was all the way up to $20 for an email address, just to get your email address. They were running Google AdWords. They were doing huge giveaways, huge contests, all this stuff, right? All they wanted was your data, right? Think about this. If I'm in, Chicago, and I can take a circle around Chicago and know that I have, let's say, 200,000, 10,000, 3,000, doesn't matter, residents in that sphere, and I own their email address, I'm able to offer them something every day. I don't have to own that, what I'm offering. I could be sending them freaking dessert or pizza or massages or travel. The key was the data. So Groupon, stock price and all, even though that Groupon's model is flawed, and I will talk about that in a second, they were smart. They did what local business owners weren't willing to do, okay? Which was collect the freaking customers that are walking through your doors every day. Groupon basically said, well, these local business owners are too dumb to do it. So if we do it, we'll just sell their shit back to their own customers at 50% off, and then we'll take half of it. You want to talk about a flawed model? Groupon was just going, thank you. That's why they went from 0 to a $6 billion, and ultimately went public, I think, someone can fact check me here, for like $30 billion. The day Groupon sold their business, I sold my business, which is a model of Groupon called Crusader Deals. They went public, I sold to a private group on the same day. Exact same, it was kind of by coincidence, I had no idea. That's actually how me and Blackwell know each other. He worked for the guy that bought my company, that I will kill. Oh, I can't put that on. Sorry. Sorry, my attorney. Job killing him. I just meant I'll get him in the program. So circling back and kind of understanding this. This is really good for you guys to understand, because this is what local business owners deal with every day. This data that Groupon started doing, then you saw the sprout ups. Living Social followed quickly behind. And then you saw guys like me go, well, shoot, that seems like a pretty good model. I can make a hell of a lot of money off of this. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to do it on a little bit more of a localized basis. This is how Hal and I know each other. I actually trained Hal on some of this model, probably a little too late in the game. because the model was already going like this. But that doesn't mean the data doesn't still have a ton of value to it. So with our business that we initially had started, that I basically, as you can see, the trend of me taking good ideas from other people and just going and doing them myself, right? But what I was doing with Coupon Crusaders was, this was before the whole Groupon. I started Coupon Crusaders basically at the same time Groupon. I didn't know anything about Groupon for about 2 years, till 2 years later or so. But what we were doing with Coupon Crusaders was we were going to that tanning salon owner. We were putting that box into their location. We were putting some sort of irresistible offer on that box that said, hey, free tans sign up for a chance to win free tans for a year. The customers were dropping the data in droves, by the way, just, hey, Dan. And at the bottom, I don't know why I did this, but I did at the time. I just said, basically, I own all your data. And I didn't know anything about data like I do now. It was like, I own all your data and I can sell it to anyone I want to. And any of my subsidiary companies owns it as well. Like, big disclaimer across the bottom of this thing. I'm not evil. I was just thinking ahead, like, maybe I can do something with this sometime. I'm opportunistic, like Brad talks about, right? So I'm building this coupon business, which it's an email marketing business at its core, is all we were doing. We were helping these local business owners in an area that they didn't really understand with customer retention, okay? So we're charging a monthly fee and doing this. And I'm building this business, and every business was paying me $250 a month just to collect that data, input it into a database for them, upload it into MailChimp, and send out emails for them each week. That's all we were doing. I mean, and half the time, I never even heard from these business owners for months on end. They would be like, oh, I forgot to get in. I told them, you can send unlimited emails, as many as you want. Very rarely did they ever send emails. So it was a good model from amount of, like, I could leverage myself really well. I built that to a pretty good monthly recurring revenue, which I encourage you guys to do similar things with the business owners you work with. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But Groupon, Living Social came to Eugene, Oregon, and they went to this business owner that I had been working with. He's a sushi restaurant. And this guy was tough, man. I mean, I met with this guy so many times trying to sell him my little coupon business email marketing program for $250. I thought it was like awesome. I got him. I got some free sushi out of it too. He was so hard for me to sell. It was impossible. It was hard to get this guy to understand the value of the data that was walking through his restaurant every day. There's a moth. Get it? Messing up my camera. It was like impossible. It was amazing. Take notes on this. It's amazing that this business owner is a very smart guy, very successful sushi restaurant. But for me to convince this guy to spend $250 a month with me, and I would help him collect all the data of all of his consumers that were walking through his door and database it for him and be able to send out emails for him, clap that thing. Get that moth. If anyone sees it, kill it.
Is that a literal kill?
That one's literal.
Here he comes coming in.
No laws are being broken for doing that.
I think this is a job.
So it fascinated me that this business owner would literally fight me tooth and nail for this service where I would collect the data for him for a fee, because they don't see the value, okay? But he would go to Living Social and discount his product 50%, and then share 50% of that with Living Social. The sushi restaurant runs this deal. Living Social sends one email to this database that they had grown. This huge database inside of Eugene, Oregon, all these residents who probably ate at this guy's sushi restaurant anyway. In one email, they generated $65,000 in sales. They ran a $50 offer of sushi for $25, and they sold all this. So Living Social went like this, bloop, sent an email, $60,000, and they go, here's 30 for us, thank you very much. And I'm going, I'm in the wrong business, this is stupid. I got this data that I've been collecting for the last 2 years on this coupon model is way more valuable if I'm the owner of it and I control it, which I had put in the disclaimer that I did, so it was nice. Then these business owners, they don't see the value in it. The value truly for that owner was $30,000 in one email that he just lost out by not being on top of it, by not really collecting his own data, or if he would have been collecting his own data for years and years and years. The guy had, 400 or 500 people a day in and out of his restaurant, sometimes 100, 200, but big amounts of customers were walking through. But yet he still didn't see the value. They're not making the connection. This is why it's so important for you guys to understand this is In every one of these businesses in your local market exists all this traffic of all these humans that are walking into the location. And just like I showed you with Ghostery when I went onto the Blaze or Match.com, we can collect data as well. We can monetize that data. There's a lot of different ways to do it, okay? So I just want to encourage you to understand this part of the pillar of success, because the local business owners still don't get it. Groupon and Living Social's model, let's all agree, it's a flawed model, ultimately. You can't take 50% and then another 50, you can't take 50% off and then take the 50%. The business owner makes no money. I understand the pitch of, oh, we're doing it for customer acquisition, we're getting you new customers. That's why it hasn't sustained. That's why it went like this, and then all these business owners started going, I'm not doing this anymore, this is crazy, you're just taking all my money. And I was like, you're kind of right. You know, I am.
Yeah,
but, yeah, go for it.
Because actually, we talked to different business owners, get their ideas on what's worked, what's not worked. We had a sushi guy we talked to, and he said the problem we had with Groupon was that we'd have all the same customers buy the ticket and then come in with that ticket coupon instead of coming in and paying
Of course.
the price. So
Yeah, you basically, you're kind of like bastardizing your own customers. You know, you're selling. Can you grab me some water, please? Thanks. So I just think it's fascinating, and I think it's something that you guys have to know if you're going to be in the local marketing space. That just like we walk onto the Blaze.com on the internet with our fingers, and big data is capturing all our data to sell it. Your local clients, whether it's a brick and mortar shop, and this is why I wanted to bring this up, brick and mortar location, a camera crew, what have you, like they have to be collecting data as well. And if you're not instructing from at least a consulting standpoint for them to put some sort of data collection mechanism in their business, you guys are failing as a consultant, as a local marketer, what have you. And at the very least, you guys need to understand it on a high level so that you can at least educate or implement it for some of your own businesses that I know you guys are involved with, you know? So, any questions on the data stuff? Anyone want to ask anything? Did you raise your hand, Drew? You can come back to it if you. It's all good. You want? Okay. Anyone else? Any questions about understanding kind of that pillar and the importance of data collection and how it can impact, at least on a small level, a local business? Any questions? Anything?
So are you suggesting that we get the data, we sell it to others and also back to them, or just curious?
No. The right way to treat a local business owner wasn't probably what I did, okay? Looking back on it, it's probably like, that's probably a little bit like, gee. But I didn't know. I thought the Groupon, I was sold on the Groupon model, like this is gonna be awesome, I'm gonna be cross-promoting and helping all these businesses, and then I got into it a little while, I was like, I'm selling it, I'm out. What I'm kind of recommending to you guys is think about the business owners you know. Think about the local places that you eat. Think about these places that sometimes we're not even targeting with lead generation, right? We do all this lead generation on the internet through search. There's a lot of lead generation just walking into a location every day, willing to drop in their information into something. There's a lot of that going on. What I'm suggesting is, if you work with different businesses, if you work with a local business, you need to be consulting them, you need to be instructing them, and you can be charging them for just setting up basic email marketing, for just helping them collect the data, and for educating them on what I just showed you guys. Does that make sense? I think that's the thing. And then what I'm going to show you in these other pillars of success is how data, owning the data, knowing what you know about your customers, how it's going to impact all these other pillars of their business that they probably don't even realize. Okay? So I really believe more than search, more than social, more than any of them, data is the most important game. Okay?
So it almost seems like Groupon, aside from the niche, Groupon may be a good way to harvest customers, maybe.
Say what?
Because if you can show how much better this is than Groupon, since that's a bad business model.
No, it's exactly what we did. It's exactly how we initially started selling our data collection service. Was like, hey, by the way, you just lost $30,000. I'm just going to charge you $200, $300, $400, $500 a month. I'm gonna come and do it for you. And you know what the right time is right now, because all those customers that are coming in with Groupon won't give you a copy of the data. If you ask Groupon for the data, they go, not a chance. So we followed behind Groupon, we followed behind Living Social. Again, they're not as big anymore. These local business owners aren't really doing it as much, but this stuff still exists. And you can go and look and follow these different companies and get in there and have that conversation with them. It's just so important that you see how data is going to impact the rest of these other pillars, and how you guys, we've taught you search, and I feel like we've taught you search fairly well. I feel like you guys are pretty, well, maybe getting there, maybe depending on where you're at in the process, but like such an important pillar. But data is the data that you collect through search is more important than the actual search. The customer that comes through the instant quote form that we put on every site, that's data. There's a reason why I'm telling you guys to collect it. You can remarket back to that person. You know, you can send an email out. If someone gets a limo quote, let's just use it in the terms of what we all understand. And I didn't teach you this purposely because I was trying not to overwhelm in job killing. I was trying not to overwhelm you with like, oh, you got to do this, and then you do this, and there's this, and this. It's like, but if you look at my window tint business, we can pull it up. Well, I sold it, but we can pull it up. I'm not going to pull it up. Someone can pull it up. You can look at the window tint business. When you fill out that form for a window tint quote, they go into an email follow-up trickle, and they just start getting email follow-ups because we own the data. I used to own the data. And then with that data, you know, and I'll get into this in a little bit more depth, maybe a little bit later on, you know, you're able to do other tactics with it. You know, if I have, as an example, I had a burrito shop, and I think we gathered over 15,000 emails. And we could use it for cross-promotion to our other businesses. You know, the businesses that, if, you know, maybe you have a handyman, or maybe you have this or have that, and you have your call sling phone numbers. You can use that data in lots of different ways when you start thinking outside the box, okay? Any other questions on data stuff? Any other like concerns? Any other, you guys kind of getting the importance of it? Seeing how all these big companies are using it, what they're willing to pay, go for it.
Yeah, so would you craft your, say, okay, so there's a plaza, say, and there's a restaurant here, a dentist here, and I'm going out and I eat at the restaurant regularly. I never go to that dentist, but I can walk into the restaurant, give them an offer, so we consult them on the email stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'd set them up differently, like an offer for, you know, half off an appetizer, or $1 dessert. Then I go to the dentist's office and set them up for something different.
Think of it, don't overcomplicate the offers and all that stuff. The key is first owning the data. And then you have you could do whatever the hell you want. You could do dessert insurance. You could send out an email just to tell them about, you know, hey, we have a special to our dental client. You could, you know, it doesn't matter. The key is almost every business owner, every local business owner does not understand the importance of data in all the different areas that can help their business. And you guys have to understand it. What you do with the data, whatever. I'm going to show you some other things you're going to do with the data. But just setting up a MailChimp or Aweber, or a free MailChimp account, you could manage emails for these businesses, and maybe they just want to send a newsletter. Maybe they just want to send whatever. Maybe they just want to find all those people on Facebook, and you upload all the emails into Facebook and grow their social media, right? Maybe that, you know what I'm saying? There's just so much you can do with it once you own it. But the key is you got to put mechanisms in place, or at least let these business owners know and educate them about the importance of it and all the different ways it's going to impact these other 5 or other 4 pillars. Okay? Maria, did you have a question?
Yeah, just as simple as setting up an autoresponder, something with all the costly numbers. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, again, I keep things pretty stupid and simple, as we all know. You know, using Weebly. I mean, I was literally I put a box into a location. They dropped it, and I have all the stuff. If you guys want to take this and add this as a part of your business, I use a free MailChimp account because you can get 2,000 emails for free, which most business owners don't build a database of 2,000. And then the ones that do, you can pay for it. And I was charging them $3,000 per year to manage their email marketing. And I was just collecting the data, and my cost to produce it was $10 an hour data inputter. And I think it was like maybe $15 a month in hard costs is what I had coming out. But yeah, it's as simple as just taking a tool that exists, just like Weebly, setting up an account, and uploading all the data that you gather from both their website, which I'm going to show you some stuff on one of the pillars. You can gather data from people's websites of the instant quote forms that can go right into their database. Now you're managing a whole nother part of their business, and you can charge them for this, and they're happy to pay. But you have to first be able to educate them on the importance of data. Okay, you have to be able to show them what big data does, how big data mines this whole entire world, and why that small business owners are not doing it. Questions? Anything else?
Well, it's kind of a comment question. Have you seen the business 5-star that works with the restaurants?
Yeah, there's a lot of them like that. Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of like they give you a card. They're at select restaurants.
Yeah.
And you get 8 dinner items from them.
Sure.
You get a free drink. 10, you get a free meal, and they like send out texts.
Yep.
Regularly, don't have a receipt with that.
Yeah.
That restaurant location.
Yeah, I mean,
Similar.
don't just think restaurants though.
Yeah.
There's definitely a ton of like customer retention restaurant types of things like that, but I hate restaurants, to be honest with you. I hate working with them because they're hard to quantify your actual value to them because it's like a $12 ticket and they're like, why am I paying? I just want you guys to get your heads around understanding, so when you're talking to a local business owner, you can educating them is the whole key to this whole deal. The whole key to getting successful in becoming a local marketing agency or becoming a local marketer is knowing all the different areas of how you can assist them or at least guide them so that they trust you. And so they're like, man, this guy is an actual professional of his craft, like our photographers, right? So I'm willing to hire them, right? Other someone else had their hand. Yeah.
Other than the web form,
Yeah.
what are other revenues that you can, or avenues that you can collect the data?
Well,
Like the box?
yeah, you don't have to use a box, but yeah, you could use some sort of in-store collection mechanism. I'll show you what ours look like and where I grabbed them from if you want them. You could use a simple cardboard box. You don't have to do what I did. Mine were expensive. Mine cost me, I think, like 80, 90 bucks to produce. But I was looking for the wow factor so that when people walked in, it was moving and it was digital and it was kind of giving them that feel. Some you can use an iPad, which is then you're really expensive, right? And you could use a data input thing there. Again, simple and stupid. It's always worked for me, and I really feel like it feels, instead of doing it all digitally, we tested it. We found that people were very willing to just write down their information because they felt very comfortable that this business was just putting this together. Okay, so I'll show you some of the other. The other strategy was we printed up just like postcards, and on the front of the postcard it said, sign up for a chance to win free XYZ, and then they'd flip over the postcard to be name, email, phone number, and we'd get their information that way. And that was really good at like fine dining restaurants where they just slip it into the little black thingy that they give you when you give your check. And we'd pick up thousands of cards with all this data, which then we turned around and we used and we created a Groupon model and did 7 figures in sales, selling back to those same customers through our mechanisms. So, all right. Pillar number 2, online reviews. This is a no-brainer. You heard me last week blast Yelp, and we know that the things that can exist from these online reviews, but just so we all are clear, there's entire companies that are built around just reputation management. Reputation for a small business is everything. Mario, good example on his thing. 15 5-star reviews of his service. Made me feel pretty comfortable hiring the guy. I don't know him from Adam. I can only read what other people said about him. Business owners don't understand the true value of these reviews at the level that they should. In our window tint business, I would spend upwards of $1,000 if I had to make sure someone was happy if I heard a complaint come through. One negative review for that business, the unseen consequences. Think about this for any business, but I'm working on the second. We're taking vehicles. The second biggest investment a human makes is house, then vehicles, right? And if I have a bad review that says I scratched some paint or I scratched their window or whatever, I might lose 20% of my business or 10% or 5%, whatever it might be, and I don't even know it. And so many of these business owners they're victims. This is how they are. Business is down. Freaking thanks a lot, Obama. Like whatever. They'll blame it on anything they can blame it on. It doesn't matter. Thanks a lot, President Bush, whatever. It doesn't matter. No, idiot. Look what's being said about you online, and maybe you can see what's actually being said about your business. They're oblivious to it. Very few business owners actually pay any attention to their reviews, which is why we could probably pull up a search right now, and specifically on Google, I mean, obviously Yelp is important too, but specifically on Google, you guys have seen this, like even the limo companies that you guys have worked with, it's like there's so few reviews, okay? So I believe for you guys, this needs to be a point of discussion with business owners that you're speaking with. This needs to be something that you guys can bring as a value to these business owners, and these business owners will pay a fee. I said this on phone calls before, but if a business owner does have a bad review, they know it's there, because they, like, think about it. Everyone's always looking up their business. Like, they want to see what their business is. Dude, they know it's there. It's a point of pain for them, so freaking solve the pain. Help them solve the pain. So how do we do that? How do we solve the pain? How do we get reviews? Well, we have a unique group here with all these people from all over, and I've kind of early on, you guys might have, in those training videos, I said, hey, you might want to get like your Google account going and start reviewing businesses. There's a reason for that, right? I didn't get too in depth on it, but you might want to start reviewing some businesses around your local market and start kind of getting your reviews up, because what do we created? We created all these reviewers, right? And we're all buddies per se. So if you think about it, and I think Raza knows a lot about this. I think you have a whole entire business that's kind of surrounding this, but on a simplistic level, and I know this, you're not really supposed to do this you're not supposed to go and just get fake reviews. That's not what I'm trying to explain to you guys. What I'm trying to explain to you guys is that there's ways to create reviews through the group that we have in an ethical way that fits all the guidelines. There's ways to write those reviews. But then more than that, here's another point at which data comes back into play. Okay? If I have 1,000 customers, who usually writes, or 1,000 customers in my database, the ones usually writing reviews are the pissed off customers, generally. When you have 1,000 customers that you've helped collect data for this business for over the last 3 months or whatever, you have all these happy customers that you can ask for reviews from. So another connection point of why collecting this is so important, whether it's in store, whether it's only on their website, but it's so important that this becomes an element, and I'm trying to give you guys a strategy that you guys can go ahead and use to charge these businesses more money. There's countless studies out there about how much these reviews are impacting their business. Countless. I mean, you can Google it till you're blue in the face about the true cost of having a bad review or a couple bad reviews online. And if you can get, especially with some of these business owners, I know when you're starting to do lead gen for some business owners, you start off on a really, maybe it's a real shitty deal. It's like 5%, I'm splitting the fee with them. Once you build a little bit of trust, like all these different other pillars can come into play. And maybe they see more value in some of these other things that you know how to do. So you got to have them in your repertoire is all I'm saying. But there again, like I was saying, the data does come back into play that you can send out email marketing messages to these businesses or to these consumers. One really cool strategy, you guys might want to write this one down if you want to do anything in the review world. You can take that, if you've gathered data, if they have an email list, some businesses already have it. You could take that data and you could just sort it by all the Gmail people, all the Yahoo people. You can just sort it. Send only the Gmail people the link to the Google place for them to leave the review. You don't bother all the people that have Yahoo email addresses. I would say Google is by far the most important one you guys need to focus on, and you need them focused on. Yelp probably coming in second, and I hate Yelp, and I probably don't have a ton of strategies for you with Yelp. They're so finicky. But just solving Google could put huge, huge dollars in these businesses' pocketbooks. The problem is that they have to be educated like I'm trying to educate you guys about this first, about the importance. You got to bring it to light about how much this could be costing them. You need to show them third-party data about this stuff. Otherwise, they're going to see the reviews go up, and they're not going to correlate their growth in business to it. They're going to think, oh, we got a new president, or this happened, or they're always going to equate it to that. So it's so important that you tell them that up front and call it what it is up front. Like, your business is going to go up, and by no mistake, understand that it's going to come from what we're doing here as you see a growth in your business. So recapping on reviews, it's no secret to us, but in my opinion, it's a lost revenue stream inside of this group right here. I believe there's so many businesses out there that you guys could add this into your repertoire right now and start garnering more income from the businesses you're already working with. Any questions on anything? Yes?
How do you deal with the issue that our lead gen site has one name of a company, but the service is actually being provided by a different name company? How do you handle the reviews? Where do the reviews go, and how do you get
Again, remember, the whole idea for going through reviews is not necessarily through this whole lead gen model per se. It's not like, I would be focused on their business, not on the lead gen site if I'm trying to charge them for a fee. I'm not trying to boost up. We can do that through the group, but I just want you to be able to identify as you speak and you walk someone through these 5 pillars when you're speaking to a business owner to build the credibility of yourself. I want you to be able to pull up their business and pull up their competitor's business and point out these things and just say, this is something that we can take care of, and it needs taken care of. It needs monthly, weekly action for you to grow this part of your business. It's as important or more important than SEO, in my opinion. It really is.
Dad, we can kind of maybe talk and maybe do a little webinar sometime on just the...
Yeah, on reviews.
Yeah, and then I have some system that have a CRM that's dedicated for reviewing from the existing clients. Mm-hmm. So we could, do something where we can kind of offer they can use it.
Yeah, we can figure it out. There's again, yeah, totally. I've developed software for it as well. What I've learned is software and all that stuff is one of those things, again, it's like, it's great, but you could just send an email out as well and garner a review. But yeah, as you get more, as you get more into it, if it's an area of your business you want to expand, then having the better tools and stuff like that always are going to make it a little bit easier to do. Bottom line though is, reviews are highly important. You need to be talking to your business owners about it, and you need to be, if you want, adding that into your repertoire. Maybe you do it for free. Maybe it's part of maybe it's what differentiates you from your competitors, right? Maybe it's what helps you stand above these other people that are hitting these businesses up, or where they're maybe spending money in other places. So just kind of keep it in the back of your mind.
So really where you're going with this is the lifetime value for their customers as well as them customer for you, right?
Totally.
Essentially, you're saying just build that out there, offer these services. If they don't bite on this one, offer them chocolate chip cookies with nuts.
Exactly.
If they don't want those, well, offer them peanut butter.
Bottom line is if you looked at that email list that I built and you took her friend Ashley Rexius, she's on my email list. She was on my email list. And you look, she signed up at the tanning salon or something like that. And she was on that daily deal list. And you look at her purchase history, she was buying everything. You just got to be able to make the offer to people. If they don't know you're selling it, they ain't buying it. And so if you guys aren't offering it, if you guys aren't understanding the importance of it, then you're not selling it. So I'm trying to give you just another thing that's sitting right there. It already exists. It's already there with the businesses that you're talking to, meeting with, eat at, do business with. Be willing to offer it. Be willing to add it as another wrinkle in your business, because there's money. I've been paid thousands and thousands of dollars just to help people get a couple more reviews. Who was it recently? I talked to Chris Dental. He valued a review at, it wasn't Chris Dental. He did value a review really high. He valued a review at like $300 to $500 is what he saw the impact in his business. I talked to a home improvement guy I think it was the granite business, and he said he had guys that were willing to pay upwards of like $125 just for a good Yelp review, or something like that. It was crazy. That's the value that they're putting on it. So to charge a monthly fee is really not that difficult. And within this group, you can make some good money by just utilizing, there's ways to do it, is all I'm saying. So just utilize the group. Don't go crazy and do like 7,000 reviews in one day like some people were doing, but just understand you got to add it into your business repertoire.
Okay, I'm confused. Why would somebody pay for a review? I mean, you could say, honey, go eat it. Book Joe Bob's Steakhouse and then put a review on there. I mean, why are they paying for $125 for one review?
Okay, good question.
I mean, it might be a silly question, but I'm just trying to figure out.
Well, let's just say you have a business like a granite business when your average customer puts $10,000 in your pocket. And let's just say that you have, maybe you got a decent, a 3-star, a 4-star, or whatever. I just hired this guy because he had 15 5-star reviews, putting multiple thousands of dollars in his pocket. So my main reason for hiring him. So why would a business pay for that? Because it directly, the ones that understand it directly impacts. So some businesses that have maybe had a competitor come after them, leave a bad review, there's a ton of different reasons why. But if you look at the information on reviews, it is it's probably the number one buying reason why people shop at certain places in this day and age. They don't care about what you're saying about yourself, they care what other people are saying about you. So if you have a high-end product, I mean, you got it?
I do, but I'm trying to. Aren't there 10,000 other people that put a free one on there? Or is it good?
Yeah, go look online in your local market. No one leaves reviews, only pissed off people.
Oh, yeah. They're about 9 times. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Restaurants have, no, you're good. Restaurants always have tons of reviews. But I don't, whatever, I'm not worried about restaurants. That's not that wouldn't be who my target would be. I'm looking for these companies, the limo companies or whatever. I mean, all these companies that we work with, those are great targets that the customer's not generally going out there and going, I'm going to go write about how good that steak was. Just not doing it.
One last thing. My quality, right? The reason why restaurants are difficult is it's hard to quantify. Like if somebody calls in, take a restaurant versus say a plumbing business.
Yes.
Or a limo business.
Sure.
They're going to be able to see it, assuming they have caller ID, and where the business is coming from.
Sure.
Well, a restaurant, you call a restaurant, it's not going to be, they're not going to know that you're the one that benefited, and also they're going to have a lot more face-to-face customers in a plumbing business.
Totally.
So it's going to be hard to say, hey, we're the reason why.
It's hard to quantify low-ticket stuff, which is why I stay away from low-ticket stuff like restaurants and stuff like that.
One of the big reasons a lot of people, some of these businesses don't have reviews because the clients can't really find them. They don't have a Google Plus, they don't have any citations.
It's true.
So it actually opens up a door for you to actually first go set those up because if they go look for Joe Plumber, he has no Google Plus, he has no Yahoo
Yep.
listing, he has no Bing. So
See how they're all interconnected.
yeah.
You know? Yes.
Another thing that I've done with one of my business owners is we offer a $5 Starbucks gift card.
Yep.
If somebody goes on and leaves a nice review after we've serviced them.
Yeah, and that's a business owner that, and
Tell everybody.
that's what we did at Chris Dental. I think we gave him a $20 gift card just to make sure we got it. That's fine. I would have done like $1.
I live in North Carolina, okay?
Yeah.
Everything's cheap there.
Yeah, no. But that's a business owner that understands the value of it, right?
Yeah.
He's willing to basically say, hey, let's get this. I know your time is valuable for you to go write this about me. Here's $5 to Starbucks to thank you for doing it. And boom, you're probably outpacing the market in reviews, or that's the goal. Because if I see, what kind of business is it?
HVAC.
Okay, if I see an HVAC company and you guys have, 57 5-star reviews, and then the next guy on the thing has 1, which one am I going with? Yeah, so Maria.
Real quick, a toy company, and he's really hip on all of this, and he's paying me a good monthly fee that he wants. How do you get people to give good reviews on the toy? That doesn't sound fake. You're not going to say, oh, that was an awesome toy.
Let me ask you this question. It's a super good question, by the way. How do you do it? So this is how I would do it. When I call for a tow, I have the person's phone number. Okay?
Right.
I would take someone like you if you're getting paid well and manage their expectations. How many reviews does he have right now?
He has about 30 and we have for that.
Okay, great. And how long has he been in business?
10 years.
10 years.
He just got into this, so-
That's fine.
Yeah.
Hear me out.
Okay.
He's paced 3 reviews a year. He's had 3 reviews a year historically. 30 divided by 10, okay? Manage his expectations. So, Mr. Tow Truck owner, how many reviews would you like per month for me to be able to go out there and get for you for it to be worth the fee at which I'm going to charge you for?
He said just one.
Well, there you go. So how do you get 1 review? You call up his last customer and say, hey, I'm so happy. I'm the customer retention specialist. And I'll tell you what, if you write a review for us, I'm going to personally mail you out a $5 gift card. How much are you getting paid for this?
$1,100 a month.
So is that $5 gift card worth $1,100? All right. Are we good? Are we running out of room, or do we need it? We're good. Okay. I just didn't see if you're okay. Any other questions on that? Just you see the concierge side of it though. Like many of us, and Brad would probably say like, I would never. That's fine. I'm not saying you guys all have to do this. I'm just saying these are other income streams that I personally do. And to me, I feel like we're all on that same playing field of understanding the search side of this business. But it's like, implement these other things. Know that there's all these different revenue streams that you guys can pick up. Don't just be only focused on search and leads. There's going to be all these different elements that these local business owners need too. And they're spending money with someone else, or if you educate them, they'll spend the money with you. And many times, it's not like you got to go out and get 30 in a month. Like that's what we all think, but break down historically. We could probably Google, let's do it. What? No. There's the carpet cleaning business in Eugene. Guess who's the biggest carpet cleaning company in town? They make the most money. They have the most trucks in Eugene. Brothers does. And then nothing. That's every market. Every freaking market. And honestly, if you came to them and maybe you know them, maybe you did business with them, what have you, and you start showing them, it's as simple as screencast video, right? Hey, let me show you some stuff. Let me tell you why it's so important. Use third-party data. I'll give you a template for this. And here's how we can help you. Historically, you've got 0 reviews a year. For all these, you've done 0. So if I just got you 1 a month, that would be awesome. Imagine in 12 months from now, you have 12. He historically has only got 5, and they've been around for a long time. He's only had 5 in the last however many years. All I'm saying, guys, is it doesn't take that much effort to be able to get 1 or 2 reviews. And if you manage their expectations up front, these businesses will spend multiple hundreds of dollars per month to be moved up. And you can do it totally without doing fake reviews and all that junk. You can use the data. You can call back the customers. I mean, honestly, if you had to call 2 customers off and offer them a $5 gift card, they're going to do it, or a $10 or $20 gift card, whatever it is. They're going to do it because they want it. They're greedy. You're giving them something. And then you got a great result for your client. And your client's not going to think through that. Nor do they want to do it. So is it worth the 2 phone calls you had to make for $1,100? Heck yeah, it is. And then get a couple referrals from it. Go for it.
Another thing that I'm getting ready to be involved in with is a car part outlet sale, and he wants to do like some social media and some email marketing, stuff like that.
Yep.
So what I came up with is when they come in the store, that he has a computer set up, they put their data in there.
Yep.
And when they do reviews and stuff like that, he gives them like a $10
Yep.
gift certificate to his store,
Yep.
where they come in and buy from his store.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. That right there. And how much is this guy going to pay you? Do you know?
We haven't worked out on the proposal deals yet.
Okay.
But he spends $10,000 a month on billboards.
Exactly. And those billboards are pushing them where? Right back to the web. And they go look. They saw it in their car. They're on the web, and then they're like, it's only going to help that whole entire, the synergy of that entire campaign. All right. Any other questions on that stuff?
Yeah, I actually have a question. So,
Yep.
my wife and I, before before we start doing this, we have a pretty successful business, but it's nationwide.
Yep.
So would you just make a local one, try to get it ranked locally and move on to the next? Or is there any different strategy for ranking something that's not in a local location?
Wait. Are we talking about ranking or reviews?
Reviews for this one. Do you even pursue that?
For sure. I mean, what kind of business is it?
It's sort of like QuickBooks and a CRM, but it's specifically for...
Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Question was, he has a national type of a business, software-based, right?
Correct.
Software subscription-based. It's their business. How would you approach it? Would you create a local listing for it? Well, I'd always create a local listing for it. But the thing about local listings, as many of you guys probably have seen, is just because you put a local listing doesn't mean that there's a category for it on Google.
Absolutely.
If there's a category for it, 100%, I don't care if it's a national company, put it in the local listings. It's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help you. Okay? Does that answer?
Yeah, I didn't know if there was any extra strategies to rank or, reviews. Like we have, Android apps and stuff like that are reviewed and all that good stuff.
Comes back to data again, right? So if you have the data of all your clients, you can go and mine that data with your clients and say, hey, we're going to give you a bonus bolt-on piece of software inside of our program if you go on Android and review this for us right now. Just do some stuff like that, but it all starts back with that data. You guys already have it,
Yeah, we do.
which is awesome. Yeah. You can do a lot with it.
Okay.
All right. Does anyone know who that guy is?
King of Instagram, Dan Bilzerian.
You know who he is? Does anyone else know who he is? Okay, so that guy, I don't even know how to say his last name, is Dan Bilzerian. He's like, they call him like the king of social media, king of Instagram. He's running for president. He just announced on Instagram. He's not really. But he has enough influence that people are basically taking him seriously. Like total womanite. Like if you want to watch like the craziest thing ever, go to his Instagram. It's nuts. He's like a poker player. It's nuts. Go check it out. But in this day and age, and I think Anna was just saying it, obviously these business owners that we work with, this is no secret that this is a pillar. Social media is a huge pillar to success, and it's a very difficult pillar to control for a business. But it's a place where entire companies are social media management firms. That's all they do. And these same business owners that you're sending leads to, I promise you, if you audited their social media, and it doesn't mean you got to be great at all of them, you could just help them do some stuff on Facebook, and I'll teach you some strategies on how to do it. I'm also not fantastic at it, which is why I said Brad and I even miss on some of these pillars. But the fact is there's a need there, and there's some pain there that is totally solvable by us. And if you want to create income streams, for many of my clients over the years, have managed their social media, and at least on Facebook. But I've made it a point to point it out to them and then offer a solution to them. And so I think in this day and age, these are the big ones in my opinion. I might be missing one. Periscope's the up and coming, I believe. If any of you guys saw, I said, follow us on Periscope. Does everyone know what Periscope is? Probably, maybe checked it out. Basically, it's like live streaming video. So we could be periscoping from in here, and it's streaming live, so you guys could be anywhere in the world and watching it. I think there's some cool stuff that I want to talk to you guys about Periscope later on for like your local business and just what we do. I think you should be putting that type of content out there because instantly you have people on there watching you. But Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Periscope, YouTube, Pinterest. Like I said, you don't have to be great at all of them. You maybe need to know your way around. But honestly, if you're trying to create income and you're trying to help these businesses grow, this is a pillar that they need to be focused on. 100%, at least in one category. They need to be present in social media. I'm not telling you guys anything you guys don't know right now. How does this work with data though? Again, let's talk about the sushi restaurant again. The sushi restaurant, 500 clients a day. I bet you if we pulled up their Facebook, he probably has 1,100 people liking their page, right? Which is another point of contact. If you're collecting their data and you're gathering all that data up, it's very easy to use that data. You can upload all that data into these social media outlets, and pretty much every one of them, you can upload the data, and it will connect with every one of those customers. So imagine this. You have all these customers that are walking into these physical location businesses, and you're helping collect the data now for the business. And then you have all these people that are landing on your guys' sites, or these business owners' sites, that are filling out information, an instant quote or a whatever. And that's data. And all that data can be utilized, and this is where you guys can become the heroes. All this data can be utilized to help grow their social media presence. If right now, obviously, Periscope is big. So, let's say you had helped someone and grow their Facebook. When I posted inside of our Facebook group the other day, I said, hey, follow me on Periscope. I garnered a lot of you guys started following me there. So all we're doing is we're using this data, and over time, stuff is gonna move from Facebook to Instagram, from Instagram to Periscope, from Periscope to whatever the next thing is, right? And if you control the data, if you control all this stuff, these customers' information for your clients, you're gonna be able to help them in the social media realm if they want help on that. But at the very least, you can give them, it ties in these different services that you're trying to get them to spend money with you on. It ties in you helping them gather this stuff, or you or recommending that they start gathering all these leads that are walking through their store, or gather the leads off of their website that are coming on there every day. So I'm not great at social media. I'm the first to admit it, but I understand the importance of it. And I know that with just like anything, with just knowing a little bit more than these business owners and putting a little bit of time on it, I can garner getting paid by them to put some focus on it. Whether it's $500 a month, $1,000 a month, whatever, they will spend it. So I just believe it should be something, and we can make trainings on it and whatever. There's plenty of trainings out there. It doesn't have to be rocket science, guys. Like, all you need to do is attack one of these things. And I feel like if you have a little bit of a plan with all this data stuff that I've been talking about, and you can utilize that, you can show pretty good increases for these businesses in their followings. And then you can garner some of the stuff that they want, which is driving people back in with irresistible offers, increased leads, that type of stuff. You can also use social media. Again, this is why this ties in, for reviews. We talked about emailing out to all these customers through the data, but utilizing a Facebook set page that says, hey, we're doing a $10 Starbucks gift card if you review on Yelp, if you do it over on Gmail or Google, if you review over here. You can post that up once you have all these followers in one of these areas, and they'll do it. So you see, like, I want you guys to kind of see all these different pieces to the puzzle and how they're all pretty intertwined, and how you can start adding to your revenue streams. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here. How to identify failed social media, it's pretty simple. Just go on and you'll see it just crickets, tumbleweeds, nothing happening. And then you screencast video to them. Hey, this is what I'm doing. This is how I can help you. Here's my strategy. Send it to them and have a conversation about it. Easy stuff, same exact thing, results in advance. If you guys have computers, I really, really, really want to leave this with you guys setting up that Fiverr strategy. It is a rock solid strategy. I'm going to cover it. I feel like on the phone it doesn't come through, maybe on the weekly calls. And we're going to pull some stuff up so you guys can see statistics, so you can see some of the stuff that I've done. And it's a great lead gen source for local business owners. So I want to touch on that. And then that's going to be kind of the agenda, just so you guys know. All right. So pillar 4. So we've done, we've touched on data kind of being our hub, I believe, to all the pillars of success for a local business. Kind of seen all the ways it's went out to helping with online reviews, helping with social media. And now we're going to talk about a website that converts. You guys get this because obviously it was taught in JK, but I can't stress the importance of a website that converts. And it means different things to different people. Like, what is a conversion? I threw that up there. A conversion for a local business owner is generally a phone call or the capturing of some data, name, email, phone number, some sort of lead, right? For a shop, like an online store, it's going to be a sale, right? That's generally a conversion. It's going to mean different things to different people, right? For most all of us involved in here, with all the different types of businesses we work, we got to make sure that these, and we got to make sure that stuff has been set correctly with these businesses, okay? Just the small stuff. I'll tell you, we are doing all the SEO and web development, everything for a business called US Colleges that is no longer, it's sold. But on the site, there was the very top, there was a button and it said, click here for, this has been a couple years. It was like, click this for a free tuition kit or something like that. That was the irresistible offer. And we ran that for several years. And then we changed it, instead of them having to click and it popped up a form, and we changed it to a form right on there. No traffic, the traffic stayed exactly the same. Their leads went up 20%. So being knowledgeable about this stuff is super important to the businesses that you're working with, to your guys' business. Being able to speak intelligently about these different points of conversion, these different points of conversion, and understanding why they work like they do. And such a small mistake of, or such a small thing of just a button that said, give me an instant quote, and it popped up a form, versus just putting the form on the same page. Imagine the revenue difference for that business. It was a $9,000 to $12,000 sale when someone joined that school. 20% leads, you extrapolate that over multiple years of doing it the wrong way. Sometimes it's the small things. And again, my goal for this part of this today is to make you guys leave here smarter, feel more in a point of authority with the business owners when you speak with them. When you pull up a business's site, you can dissect it in all these different things. And so here's just a couple key things over the years that this is nothing ground shattering, but simple stuff that you guys can put when you're in your education mode, and maybe to cross check what you've already done. Phone number, always gotta have a phone number at the top of your site. Make it big, make it bold. That's a conversion, okay? We're trying to get conversions. We're trying to get that phone to ring. You wanna hide it, we could probably pull up a lot of business owners' sites right now. That number's hidden down in the footer of the business, whatever. Again, use it as an education point. Data collection, the free quote. Okay, these two go hand in hand, data collection and irresistible offer. I want to kind of talk about those. Here's what I want you guys to think about. Anytime you're working for a business, anytime you're consulting for a business, anytime you're doing this for your lead gen sites. If 100 people hit the site, how could you get all 100 people to convert? So let's think about that. So this is where business owners get it way wrong. Okay, so here's all these little site visitors, right? And this is them kind of landing on your site. Unfortunately, or fortunately for us, most business owners don't understand an irresistible offer. They think, well, if they're on my site, if I could just, if they're there, then that's all that really matters. But us marketers are trying to create a conversion. We're trying to create a lead. We're trying to create an email. We're trying to create something so we have another point of contact for these people. And so always run this test by any business, anything that you do online. Figure out what your end goal is, right? So if our end goal is a phone call or an email submission, if those are our end goals, and if it was like a sale, that would obviously be, if you want to make a sale, that could be an end goal. So what's going to basically put yourself through the test of what is going to give you the best chance of getting what you're looking. That's what you're selling right there. I'm selling a phone call, I'm selling an email submission. That's all I'm selling. That's all I care about. On every page on the website, that's what I want. So if you put on your limo sites or on any site, fill out this free quote form and we'll send you a $100 Starbucks gift card. If 100 people hit your site, how many people would probably fill that out? Probably, right? But what most business owners do is they're usually somewhere down here, is they don't offer anything. It's just nothing. So they get 100 people onto the site or 100 people onto this page, and they haven't asked or tried to sell the conversion. And so let's pull a couple up. Let's just go back to that carpet cleaner. Let's take a look at it. So we got phone number. We got a phone number up top. Not selling me any conversion, not giving me any real reason to give up my data to them, right? Nothing. Let's look at another. Look at this, another one, right? There we go. There's something. But he had a little bit of something, saved 20% or something like that. Now, the save 20%, bring in all 100? No, but it ups it from doing nothing, right? Let's take another look. That one's a doozy. What's that? Yeah. So we got, look at this, guys. This is like, it's like so simple, but yet almost every person we've looked at has done it wrong. Such the simple stuff. They don't know. They're good at cleaning carpets. They're not good at what we do. If we don't exercise our authority over them, if we don't show them this type of stuff and give them examples, maybe you don't pick on their business specifically, but maybe show them businesses of how it's done the right way and how it's done the wrong way, and maybe some third-party data on how this can affect, okay? Let's see if they even have anything right. Oh yeah, free cleaning estimate, little hook, but we gotta click through, right? It's not right there in their face. The funny thing, you guys probably have heard this. Well, I don't like how it looks, right? I don't like how that thing looks. I don't like all the like, I don't care what you like. That's why you're cleaning my carpets. I'm just saying, like seriously, like they don't know what they don't know. And unfortunately, that gets in their way of making money. What?
Nothing.
All right. Bottom line is, if we get back to the pillars of success, you think about it, so many of these businesses are doing so many things wrong. There's so many ways that we can take the knowledge that we have and turn it into money. The last part, obviously, of the 5 pillars of success is search, which hopefully we've covered that fairly well for you at this point. I think there was like 5 weeks of training on it, but or more. So think about it, guys. Data is your hub, always. Always have it on your focus. Understand it. Understand how to use it. Understand all the different ways it can be used. It can be used to help get more reviews for these businesses, which we just saw in a pretty decent sized market. There's a lot of need for that. It can help them grow social media following. Okay? On your website that converts, you're going to gather data there, and you're going to use those forms, those ways of gathering it there. And then obviously search. So anytime you speak to a business owner, anytime you're trying to show your authority to them, is you could tick through if you want to make a screencast video as an example, you could literally tick through and you just tell them, these are the 5 pillars of success. And let me show you and educate you on where you're hitting it great and where you're maybe missing things, and show you a couple ways that you can fix that. Results in advance, right? Everyone always asks, like, how do you do a screencast video, or how do you do this, or what should I follow, or what should I say? And it's like, you could just literally go through them. Show them, hey, are you doing anything in store for data collection? Are you doing anything on your site? Is your site set up to convert? How's your social media presence? And you're just pulling it up. And you could literally just use that as your guide, these 5 pillars. If you guys all wrote them down, you will have, we'll get you the slides for them. But that can be your guide going forward. Does anyone have like questions specifically about any of those topics that I covered? Is people understanding the tie-ins, each of them? Yes, Dustin.
Hold on, let me get my voice. It's not a question, it's, well, I guess it kind of is. Media Hub, is that a nationwide, or has anyone heard of Media Hub?
I have, I believe.
Okay, so the woman I'm dealing with right now, she's just like so sold on Media Hub, and all they did was say, we can help your social media. And all they do is give her this garbage data of like, look, today we tweeted 5 times. And she's like, look, it's active.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you're not even ranking. You don't even exist in this county.
Right.
So like, and she charges $400 a month.
Yep.
Or no, they charge her $400 a month, and they made her sign a 3-month contract in order to even do anything for her. And she already had Google Plus, Twitter. She already had it all set up, so all they needed from her
was content.
Log in, and all they do is send her this pretty little page with little snapshots of the Twitters they sent and what somebody said. And
Yep.
she pays $400 a month for it, and she doesn't get SHIT.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
It's true. Business owners don't want to do this stuff, and they're going to get charged by someone to do it for them. And it is important for their business too. Whether or not it's as important as some of these other things, I don't believe it is. I think you got to have the right strategy in how all this stuff flows, but the money's there is what I'm trying to say. There's countless businesses that someone is charging them for these things I'm showing you guys, and there's no reason why you guys can't go scoop it up.
Yeah, and you know what else she said? And like, I'm more curious about Media Hub type things, because I just found, I'm like, who are they? How do I find out who they're going to? And cheating is how I feel. What she said to them is, they just called me all the time. They called me all the time, so I finally just said, okay. That's exactly what she said, and I was like, damn fine. Call him. I just wouldn't be here.
Well, just persistence, right?
Yeah,
Pig-headed stubbornness.
Yeah, I thought of you immediately, because I was like, yeah, he's just always like saying something.
I don't know. I mean, whether it's calling, whether it's emailing, whether it's doing something, I just think that people ultimately, all of us included, we give up too easy on so many things. And if you put yourself on the other side of the coin of the business owner, and someone came to you and said, hey, this is what I do, blah, 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 and you're like, nah, it's not for me right now, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, back next week, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Blah, 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 blah. I just think like that consistency is what's going to separate you from most, and that you will ultimately always land the deal. There's always a way to land a deal. How do you land that lady? She's in a 3-month contract. Is she pretty happy?
Well, she's like told me the whole story of like her heroin addiction and like how she was the IRS for the first time in 20 years and blah 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 blah. And I was just like, look, you need me. She's like, I know I need you. She's like, but I'm stuck in this contract with Media Hub. And I was like,
Cool. You want me to show you how to close it?
Huh?
Can we tell you how to close it?
I would love to. I already.
When's her contract up?
I told her I was going to build it anyways.
When's her contract up?
I think the end of next month. She just started.
Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna start with me right now. We're gonna start working, and I'm going to. Hey, what's up, guys? You can do it 2 ways. You can tack it on at the end or tack it on at the start. But you can basically say, listen, the first month's on me to get you started. Take your card on auto bill. I'm gonna start doing work for you, and we're just sign her up. Don't let her. Oh, you wait till the contract ends. No. We'll absorb the contract. Here's my contract. How much are you gonna charge?
For her, I told her $17.50 to like her to actually help her site and her domain.
One-time fee?
For just the site, and then I didn't even get to talk
Oh,
to the SEO.
how much is her contract? How much left on her contract?
What do you mean?
How much is left on her contract? Dollars.
400.
Great. You just absorbed it. I just bought your contract out.
And just pay her contract? Or
No.
wait, what?
You're going to charge let's do some math. You're going to charge her $1,750, right? Right?
For a site that's
That's fine. She's got $400 left on her contract. Tell her to write you a check for $1,350, and you just bought out her contract. Or, but yeah, I mean, you can close that deal right now. The contract deal's BS. I'm in a contract. Okay, I'll buy it out.
Yeah.
Now what?
Like, and she was gonna have, like, we were gonna have coffee and all that crap. But I actually went into the service because I was coming here and I was like, it can't be not tan. So I went in and tanned.
And me too.
Right? I was like, I know it's back to me now. So I went in and I was like, hey, how you doing? I was like, you know what? I didn't even have to give you my phone number. I was gonna come in today, blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, yeah. She's like, well, I know she knows she needs it. And my problem is closing it. I can't, I can. So like.
Buy her contract out.
contract, what happens if you break it? Ask for that. Yeah, is it $400? Yeah, the same. The contracts are meant to be broken, sorry. Yeah, okay.
Can we quote you? Can we quote you?
Sorry, he's ruined me.
So you see, that's,
Like I was close.
it's an interesting thing. The contract objection does come up a lot when you start getting into these things. And you just got to be, first you have to get agreement that they're in to go with you. And the way you would ask the question is, let me ask you this. When your contract ends, are you ready to move forward with me at that point? And she'll go, yeah, because she knows it's a month and a half out. All right, great. Here's how we're going to do this. I'm going to absorb your contract into the cost of our business, and we're going to get started today. Because time is one of those things that you can't get back. So we're going to start moving today. I need to sign here, here, here. Sign. Lean on the pen. What's up?
It's an interesting question, though. What if the contract period is longer? What if it's not expiring in 1 month, but that's a 1 year? Is there still a way to work? Because that does happen.
Yeah, you can get the ones that are like the year out ones. Again, the question I would have is, because there's a lot of variables to it, is the contract of what you're selling them more money enough that you can absorb it? You know, or is it, are they trying to trade dollar for dollar? Or third, is the contract worth what the paper was created on? Is it worth nothing? You know, is the contract BS? You know?
Yeah, like I had that situation. There was a client paying $4,500 a month for
Yeah.
Yellow Pages.
Yep. Theirs is a good contract. I'm not gonna mess with those guys, but sure.
I was lucky because the contract was just ending next month, so I got that guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there are very lucrative contracts out there, but Yellow Pages just charging so much.
Yeah.
They were charging, I think, $2,000 for PPC.
Yep.
When only $500 were being used. For
Sure.
PPC.
Pretty common. Was there someone else I missed? Other questions on this stuff? Anything? Yeah? No? You're just grabbing your head?
Sorry, yeah. Well, there is something like gathering the data we talked about.
Yeah.
That I asked. And like, let's say the Facebook, you're taking that data and sending it out. I guess I just don't understand social media now. I'll just have to learn more about it. But where you can take that data and.
Well, here's a really simplistic idea, right? Let's say we gathered 1,000 people into their database for them through lead gen, through all the stuff we're doing, maybe walk through traffic, whatever. You take that, upload it into MailChimp, send out an email that says, hey, we just joined whatever you're trying to increase, Facebook. For the next 100 followers, we're giving away X, Y, and Z if you join us right now. Send it out, increase their followers instantaneously. Easy way to kind of show them a quick result. Or a lot of times in social media like Facebook, you can upload the email list in a CSV file. You just upload the whole thing and it goes out and finds all of their clients. If they have if they use the same email they use Facebook on, it just finds them and it will send them a note to add. You can't do big files like 5,000, 10,000, but you could definitely do a couple hundred and it will go out and find, or sometimes up to 1,000 or so. Yeah, YouTube, I mean, they keep updating where and how and stuff like that, but it's super easy. It's like click, you know? Okay, cool. Any others before lunch? Any other questions? Yo.
So like, say, is like, let's say you try to increase the Twitter.
Wait, I can't hear you.
Say you try to increase the Twitter or whatever.
Yeah.
Just send an email out, and then how do you give them the stuff that you promised? Like this.
Oh, you talking about like, we'll do X, Y, and Z if you do X?
How do you know like?
Oh, because you work with the business owner and you help them as a consultant, as someone that's helping them with their whole entire pillar of success online. And you say, here's what I advise. I need an irresistible offer so that the 100 people, 1,000 people I send this to, I can get as many into the top end of this funnel so we can move them through to our end result, which is I want more Twitter followers. Make sense? So they'll always give something. Always. It could just be a coupon. It could be something simple. But there's always something that they're willing to give, and you just coordinate it with them. It's really easy. Other stuff? Other questions? Such? No? Yeah.